everybody? Is everybody back? I think so.
Yes.
So, are you ready, Rob? Yeah. Okay, good. So, comments, I thought it was really good because I think it goes along with what we're kind of talking about, changing our thoughts and keeping them changed and how do we do it and all of that. But he basically tells us what happens to us when we don't, and what most of us are living in those programs, until we decide to change them, right?
Yeah, it's just what he was talking about in breaking the habit of being yourself. It was exactly the same thing. So it was good just to have that reinforced.
Reinforced, right? Yeah, I know. It's a really good series. So did anything strike you wow, did you see yourself or, see the progress you've made or, just the part where he talks about once you get conscious of it and that's a win, that's the first step, being aware that you're in it, you're looking at yourself and going, woo. So that's a good thing. So we should be excited when we become aware, because that's where the change starts.
My change starts here, and it's happened because I've taken every possible class I've ever seen come through here. So that reinforces me to think about my thoughts and pay attention and to change and keep plugged in on a daily basis. And so when I'm not here, I listen to Abraham's CDs on my car, and it's almost verbatim exactly what he said. It's just, and you can easily do this, and it's just a simple matter of, I'm going to change my thoughts, I'm going to pay attention to my thoughts, I'm going to change my thoughts, and then I'm going to focus on being grateful for everything, even before I see it, and just know in my heart that it's coming through. It's going to be an easy day. It's going to be a fun day. I want to be healthy. I'm going to feel good about it. I say that to myself all the time.
Good. Yeah, it's amazing because it's true. You go from being unconscious to being conscious. I'm not the same person I was. I don't think the same thoughts that I used to think. I just don't think that way anymore.
Well, Ernest Holmes calls it act as if,
right.
And that's why I like that last part of it, act as if it has already occurred. And that's a toughie. It can be a toughie because it's really when you're in the midst of something to act as if. And since we started this entire science of mind, I always remember that was the thing I was attracted to the most, because I was programmed that once it was done, once the wealth came, once this came, then I would be able to behave accordingly. And so I was being told, oh my God, you need to behave accordingly to whatever it is that you want before that even occurs. So that was my most exciting part. There was a couple moments when I've watched it before and I've read all the books, but to hear it again, I could see how if you didn't jump in, it could almost seem like, oh shit, can I ever do all of what he's talking about? But we can, because we need to act as if. Rita and I were in a conversation, and I said, my new line is, I don't talk like that anymore. I don't think like that anymore. We were, it's like, the loop was starting, and then we both stopped, and we went, oh, I don't think like that anymore. I don't do that anymore. And then I could hear that part of me going, oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I'm going, come back. And I'm going, no, actually, I don't do that anymore. I did 5 minutes ago, but I don't anymore now. So that's the fierceness and the conviction that you have to have, that no matter what happens, that you can say, oh, I don't think like that anymore. Yeah.
Even when you go back, you don't go back, because you're so aware of yourself that when the program comes up, you cancel it quicker. You just cancel it because you just oh, no, I'm not going back to that place anymore. But I think the interesting part is I do think it comes back, but when you get practiced, you just stop it. You just stop it. You're able to say stop. Does it ever not come back? There's certain areas of my life that never come back. or if they do, I'm observing them so much that they're not part of me anymore. You know, they just like almost look ridiculous. So, yeah, go ahead, DJ.
I came up with this idea like, I don't know, 15 years ago or something like that, where I'll have a dinner with some friends, and we'll come as if we're 5 years into the future or 10 years into the future. And then we have our whole dinner table conversation is about like, oh, how's it going for you? Oh, fun. I just, I graduated from college and, whatever, those kind of things. So it's really, it gives you that chance to act as if.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh my God, meeting your future self.
Well, remember we used to do that thing in that one workshop we did where it was the talk show, the New You talk show.
Oh yeah,
We would interview.
Yeah, we would interview, bring them up, and they would have. Oh God, we did that a lot. And it's whatever it is that they had as an intention that I want to be done. We even did it at the prisons, and they had lots of intentions of that. And then we would interview them. Hi, how's it going, Jamie? How's And it's in the
Yeah, we
future.
heard you just published a new book.
Oh my God, did you publish that? How is that going? And then they would go,
They
it's
get all
really
excited.
exciting. I just published it, and at first I wasn't sure. And then all of a sudden, we would
Starts
ask
to become
people
real.
afterwards, and they said, oh my God, for a moment there, I thought it actually already happened,
That's great
Yeah.
though, DJ, because you could do that all the time. You could have future self night.
There's one funny thing that happened one time at one of those parties. My one girlfriend, she's hard of hearing, and she missed the part that I was explaining at the beginning of the dinner what we were going to do. And so she thought the whole thing was all really, she really thought it really did happen. And then it started happening, and I was like, wow, I think that's a good idea to have, one person not even know for sure it didn't happen because she was holding the vision that it already did.
Oh my God. It was reminding me of this time when
tell
I was
it- are you gonna
in my
do-
first Science of Mind church. I was
yes,
taking
tell
a
it-
class
tell
and they
them
used to
this.
divide us up into pods. And I started complaining about all my lack in my life. I'm like, yeah, and my husband and I can't, we just can't get through. Blah, blah, blah. I was going to do this thing. And then this one lady, she just looked at me. She said, but your husband, he's rich. He told me the story about how he was on the airplane and he bought everything that was in the, and it was because he was doing.
I was in my pod with her, and we were supposed to be doing exactly, acting as
What are you
if. And I
talking
said,
about?
it was so amazing. I was on the plane, and the shopping thing. It was so great. I was like buying every single thing that I wanted on there, and I was exhausted. And she's like, "Oh, that's wonderful, wonderful." So that by the time she got to him, she said, "I don't understand. He's so rich."
matter with you,
because
lady?
I go, I waited my whole life to just go on there and just order everything in that little book, So I
Anyway.
was convincing, wasn't I?
So, I don't know if you guys use affirmations at all, but I think affirmations are really good if you believe them. But this is like a whole thing about affirmations, this whole section that was in the lesson plan. But freedom already exists. This is Ernest. But your freedom is in your own thought. Hence, it is not enough to say God is free, which of course is a true statement, but this statement must be made personal. So you have to make it personal. The freedom of God is my freedom. The power of God is my power. The presence of God is in me. The mind of God is my mind. The strength of God is my strength. And the joy of God is my joy. So you have to make it personal. So what is an affirmation? Okay, it's a statement that you make, right? That's affirming and based in reality. God is all there is, or it can be false. You could, like, we make affirmations all the time. I'm poor, I'm whatever, I can't do this, blah, 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 like he was talking about. Whether it's true or false, when we say them and believe them, they are acted on by creative law and they manifest. So it's all about self-talk, right? So some affirmations. I'm so stupid. I mean, this is really pretty elementary, but everything I need to know always comes to me as the opposite. I will never have any money. I always have enough, always. Life is unfair. I will always win, always. And you don't have to wait for a special time or place to say an affirmation. You can say these things. They're quick, simple prayers anytime. For example, you're going into a meeting, infinite wisdom and right timing live in me. Have you ever used these before you do something? Where you just kind of sit there for a moment before you go running into whatever it is you're doing? right? Going to the doctor, I'm the perfect pattern of health and balance before you even go in. So that way, when somebody says something to you and you've meditated on that and you've worked with it enough, nothing's going to throw you off kilter, or at least not for very long. You're late for an appointment. I arrive in time, on time. All is in perfect order. I've done that so many times where I think I'm going to be late and I'm in traffic on crawl. And I go, no, I'm going to get there in the perfect time. I'm getting there in the perfect time. And I always do. A prayer affirmation can interrupt a negative, limiting, fearful, downward spiral in consciousness and pull us back to truth. I really think that's truth. And that's what he's talking about too. Like, you have to just turn it around. You have to turn it around and it'll interrupt the whatever it is, the what's it called? The transmitters or what, right? So this is about bypassing. This is about saying things that you don't really feel are true, and you're bypassing your true feelings. It's called a spiritual bypass. We talk about this in this science all the time. A bypass is typically a conscious or unconscious maneuver to deflect what we're really feeling or what's really going on. One common spiritual bypass, and I've heard people say this all the time, oh, it's okay, it's all God, but they don't really mean it. It's all God. What does that mean? It's all God. They're sitting there riddled with cancer and they're going, oh, it's okay. It's all God. They're not really looking at what their reality is. They're just saying words. And it has no effect when it's said with no conviction. A cultural bypass is, oh, it's no big deal, when it's really a big deal. I mean, if something's in front of you and you're having an issue, it is a big deal. It isn't, you have to look at it and then you can affirm, and once you've admitted it, and then you can affirm the opposite. But just to push it away, like, it's a deflection. Can you think of other bypasses that people do, or you've heard, or maybe you've done yourself in the past or something? No? You don't have to. Go ahead.
People say it's God's will.
God's will. Yeah. Oh, it's God's will.
Or it doesn't matter.
Or it does, and it really does matter,
Yeah.
right? And you're not you're deflecting your feelings.
Right.
It really does matter,
Right.
right? You know when you do it, and you can hear it in other people too. And sometimes you can't really say anything to them because you're not there to really instruct somebody. But we want to avoid that. A spiritual bypass or spiritual bypassing is a tendency to use spiritual ideas and practices to sidestep or avoid facing unresolved emotional issues, psychological wounds, and unfinished developmental tasks. We're supposed to go in and take care of things. You know what I'm saying? Not just say that something's true for us when it's not true for us, right? But we can work with the affirmations and then work with our issues too at the same time. And then, okay, so I'm broke right now. Okay, all right, I'm broke. I don't have any money right now. But I also know that the universe is abundant and there's unlimited possibilities for me. So now I'm going to face my issues like that, instead of saying, oh no, I've done that. That's why I always like to know, like when I have a problem or something, if it's a money issue, I want to know, I want to see it so that I can face it and then go, okay, well, that's impossible because the universe is infinite and I'm moving through this right here and right now, and the universe is abundant and money can show up from anywhere. Then I start affirming and doing that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. The difference, you can feel the difference, right?
But there's also a movement in science of mind right now, in the global part of it, that I believe that people are using, that leaders are coming up with, because everyone's, I want to say this kind of as the devil advocate, except I don't believe in the devil, but people are calling it, they're almost like trying to appease everyone by bringing this spiritual bypassing up. Just another angle I wanted to show you, because I'm hearing a lot of leaders going, we're not going to spiritually bypass anymore. And what that's saying to me sometimes is that they're giving permission to not know the absolute truth as well. So it's kind of like, it's not as clear. I don't know if it is clear as I'm saying. Yeah, because I'm here in our movement. There's a lot of that going on right now. We're not going to spiritually bypass anymore. We're going to really look at everything, and actually, that's what we do in this philosophy. And so we have to be careful. We have to be aware for me not to go, we have a right to look at our stuff and that's not working and really go through it. And then I'm thinking what that's doing is giving us permission sometimes to justify the conditions once again. So it's kind of a weird, does that make sense?
Well, it only makes sense if you don't go to the next step. If you're just going to justify the condition, then that's not,
Right.
you're not going to spiritually bypass, you're just going to really focus on it.
Because
But
some
I
of
don't
the
think, I don't know
well,
if that's
because
the
some
thing.
of the young leaders are going, we're not going to be like spiritually bypassing. We're going to like really look at our troubles and our stuff, and we're going to really, you know. But what that's telling people is sometimes ministers will take care of a congregation to go, it's really okay. We're not going to spiritually bypass. What you're going through is really, and I think it's just taking care of them instead of saying, from a very strong point of view, we're not going to spiritually bypass. We're going to do what we talked about tonight. Bring it up. Let's see it. And let's go through it. Not let's live there. So sometimes I hear people going, oh yeah, that's just spiritually bypassing, which tells me that you want to stay in the condition.
So it's just the opposite. is
The
what you're saying.
opposite of what we're actually trying to not do with spiritually bypassing.
So therefore, like in a conversation, all right, so let's go to practitioner. All right, so say a patient wants or is telling me about their.
Could you go a little closer to that?
Oh, yes. So say that a patient is telling me about something they want to work on, yet I reframe for, using the principles of the science of mind. That wouldn't be bypassing, that would just be knowing.
Right.
So what the other reverends are saying is that sometimes people don't look at the situation, they just look at the principles and that's it.
Right.
Or just like, yes.
Okay, yeah, it would be like you sit down with me, Charles, right? And you say, Rita, I'm having a really hard time. I just lost my job. I have zero in my bank account, blah, blah, blah. You just look in and I go to you, Charles, God is all there is. The universe is abundant. Don't you know that? So I'm bypassing it instead of getting into, like, really getting into the conversation with you and how you're feeling and what's really going on. That's, you know what I'm saying? And then turning to the truth.
Then you turn to
But
it.
I've had practitioners do that, like, you know, because
Yes.
we panel practitioners and you give them some big thing and then they're like, yeah, you know, and then they just start saying God is all there is and, you know, and they're not really addressing what's really going on. Does that make sense?
So it's not active listening in the long run. And right, there's not a conversation, it's just a volley of ideas.
Like spouting truth to them that's not really going to register with them because they're suffering in some way and you've got to deal with the suffering first, right? And get below the suffering into the belief of what's going on and all of that so you can help them, right? So, yeah, but I know.
Yeah, I mean, it's powerful not to, but to go through it, but it's just the same way. If you're going with somebody, let's cry together, let's be together, let's be in this moment, but let's go through it. And so what they're trying to say, you know, and they do that. They'll go, that it's all is good. And I'm thinking to myself, they don't want to hear all is good because they think it's shit right now. So let's put the shit out on the table, as it were, and then we can go, yeah, that's how it looks, but you can't see the other side to this right now, but I can. So let me just
Gone through it, then you
yeah,
have
so
to
let me
turn to
just
the
tell you a
truth.
little bit about a few principles that then perhaps we can work with right now. That there is an unlimited supply. Yeah, but you know, I just lost my job. I know, and that must feel like crap. It must be very scary. But what I know, because I'm not in there with you, is that there's an unlimited supply and there's a law that's working on our behalf.
But you're not going to go to that place with them until you've let them put everything out there.
on the table.
And then you're going to find it.
Right.
Address
How
the
are you
condition,
feeling?
And
I
it's
feel
real.
horrible,
it's
scared.
real to them.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go, okay, but you know, in the reality of the truth, this is the truth of matter. Let's talk about that now for a moment, you know? So
I think the main thing that I was getting from what Patrick was saying is the empathy. Because empathy is really the healing thing, and empathy is really the only thing that heals shame, you know, but empathy really heals seems like almost everything. It's it's just the first step toward healing is meeting, at that place.
Yeah, you have to be careful with empathy, though, because you don't want to jump into the ditch with them. I mean,
That-
you want to
that's
be
sympathy.
empathetic about their feeling,
Yeah.
yeah.
We have a school of thought that's we were raised with, no empathy, this,
Yeah, we were
but-
raised
but
no
that's not
empathy.
we're talking compassion.
Right, compassion.
We're talking
That's
compassion.
a better word than empathy,
and sympathy is the worst thing
No,
that you
that
could have.
has no
You would
place.
never want anyone saying, "Oh, you poor thing, I am so sorry for you," because then you feel disempowered. You feel disempowered.
Let's keep going with these affirmations. Okay, so anatomy of an affirmation. Belief first. Do you know your oneness in God when you speak them? I mean, that would be the first place to go, like we talked before, right? That to make that connection, that you know that the power and the presence is what you are. So that's the work that would have to take place. Affirmations are I statements spoken in the present tense. You never speak in the future. It's always happening now. I am, I let, I know, I open to, God within me, ... etc. So why do you think you don't do it in the future? Yeah, or it's always going to remain in the future if you're talking in future. You have to be talking
Well, like
in
Dr.
present.
Joe said, there's the
present
past,
moment.
there's the future, and then this is
The present moment,
present
which you're bringing your
where-
future into the present. Like this is.
Mm-hmm.
So you feel the truth as you speak your word. Let the experience of truth in your inner heart be the power of your spoken word. So, the feeling is like really important. Use your own words. Remember, you are talking to you, reminding yourself of who you really are beyond the situation. Yeah, so affirmations, somebody can't really give you an affirmation. I mean, they might be able to. You might hear one that you like, and you might go, oh, that really resonates with me. But they need to be in your own words. I mean, if you don't, the way you talk, not the way I talk or Sue Wood talks or whoever, the way you talk. So you'll believe it. So also, I think I gave you that formula before about, let me go back for a minute, about changing a belief by using affirmations. And you have to find the opposite of whatever it is, and then you have to contemplate and meditate on it. I think that, yeah, because I think if you don't contemplate and meditate on the affirmation, if you just start saying it, I don't think it's the same thing. I don't think it works. You have to start feeling it. So the best way to get to that place for me is to contemplate on what it really means to you. What does the universe's infinite supply really mean to you? Sit with that and really feel it. Okay, so go back. Okay, what if I don't believe my affirmations? This is like, because a lot of time, ask yourself, I love this. Actually, ask yourself why you don't believe this good as who you are. Because you're going to find a belief. Why? If you say to yourself, I am abundant, and you go, I don't believe that. You're going to go digging into yourself, and you're going to go, why wouldn't I believe that I'm abundant? And you're going to find something out. We can practice believing because thoughts are things. And when we say, I believe, and there is no doubt in me, we do two things. We affirm our belief, and by doing so, build a positive acceptance in the mind. And at the same time, we reject our doubts by denying them. So, it's like, what was somebody saying before that they couldn't change? Was it Jamie? No. Was it DJ? Was it Melissa? Like, if you keep telling yourself you don't know, then you're just never going to know. I don't remember. Somebody said something tonight. But if you do say, I do know, it's going to be that thing with what Joe's saying. You're going to start rewiring, and you're going to start creating the experience because you tell yourself you do know instead of you don't know, right? So, and you treat for your belief. There is no doubt in me. You treat for your belief. If it's an issue about belief, then you're treating for the belief to be strong. 90% of our thinking is conscious, and we should daily affirm that there is nothing in us that denies the good we affirm, that every experience we have ever had which denies that good is wiped out of our mind and memory. So you're just retraining. I mean, he's calling it the body, but when he says the body, that it's in the body, I think of it more as like it's in the subconscious, it's in the law, it's in the creative medium, which is the body, right? So, and that's where it's holding all the beliefs that we've ever had, all the beliefs of race consciousness, all of it is like lodged in there, everything we've ever accepted.
The subconscious, isn't that, or the unconscious, is also the quantum, yes? The field? Yeah, the field.
I think, go ahead.
No, I just think that that's just everything that we have ever known, and
Yes,
we,
it
and
is
we,
the field.
It is the field. It is the field.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
field is God, and we're God. The field is like all of the energy, all of the thoughts, all of everything.
The potentiality.
Potentiality of spirit, yeah.
Yeah, the field is where you change the subconscious.
Right, and in reality, it's all one thing to some degree, but that's that stuff that's working up and that sometimes we don't even know that we have.
So this is all if you don't believe your affirmations. Replace it with the truth. You can read about it, journal on it, see a practitioner, a minister, or a therapist, depending on the issue, and you can seek prayer for it. It's just, you've got to work on it. If you don't believe the affirmation, there's a reason why you don't believe it. If you're trying to bring abundance into your life and you keep coming up, you cannot do it, it means you haven't done the other work, right? So
There's also a belief that because we have a multi-billion-dollar self-help industry, we also have a belief that affirmations are bogus. That
Yeah, we do.
even you hear the word affirmation. I know that when I did, even I would go, yeah, I know all about the affirmations, but that's not how, we're just talking about affirmative thinking.
right.
We're opposed to all the cute words and all of this stuff, and they're great. I mean, remember Michelle has talked about, she had, sticky notes, from one side of her house to the next about what I am this, I am that. But I'm just saying that there's also two beliefs. One is affirmations are silly and they're kind of woo-woo and everybody's been doing it. They don't have any power, which they don't. They only have the power that we give them. And then that other one is that the belief about something outside of yourself, and it's like that God is all there is, and I believe that, and I believe there's a power, but the big thing is, do I believe it for me? And so I believe you can have two thoughts. I believe you can believe that there's a power that is greater than anything, but the key is, do you believe that it is for me as well? And I think that's my big thing for me. Yeah, I believe that God is all there is. I know you do. But do you believe that God is all there is for you?
I totally I feel where you're at with that, because the first step in treatment, I had a hard time with that. I wasn't able to say that, I am God for a long time without feeling a incongruence, you know what I mean, within my whole body. My stomach would kind of do this, this thing, and I knew it was my subconscious saying bullshit. No, nonsense. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And so, dang, I just forgot where I was at.
We've all been doing that tonight. We've been like, where was I?
No. Limiting beliefs. That's what it is. It's the limiting beliefs. Is it for me? So I wasn't able to truly treat. I wasn't able to truly believe it because there was a limiting belief within me. I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not lovable. I'm not God. And also the Christian beliefs. I'm not God.
Right.
He's God. It's God.
He has the final word.
Exactly. So and also the judgment. What would others think of me if I were to say that I am God? Like those are all those limiting beliefs that you got to get rid of, one at a time.
Yeah. That you are, they so I could believe in wealth. We see it all out there, don't we? People. So you look at it and you go, yeah, for them. The wealth is for them, or the health is for them, or the great this is for them. And we're saying, no. It's for all of us. We all have that same source of supply.
I don't want to go there yet. Because we have a little exercise. Okay, so, there's.
Look at us.
1,
We actually
2,
got
3,
to it
4,
before
5,
the
6,
assignment's
7,
good.
8, and Ron. So one in group of 3, and Ron. Oh, there's a group of 3 right there.
I know, wasn't that nice? We have groups and
Ron,
Rob.
come back over here.
And then we have the cameraman,
3
Rob.
together. Oh, wait, and then. You two can be together. And then Charles can be with Peggy. Oops. And Charles and Peggy.
So,
No, two. You're with Ron. Okay, so, what we want you to do.
no.
I think we have plenty of time to do all of them, because I don't think it's going to take you that long. Well, you know what? How many groups are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 groups, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. So why don't you take the, no, I don't want to. You take the first one. All right. You take the second one, Beatrice. You take Hazel. You take Kathleen, and then we'll do, if we have time, we'll do Jessica. All right. All right, so just read the assignment is to read over the scenario and identify the fears and the corresponding truths and create an affirmation, okay?
And then talk.
And then just write the affirmation down. I think they're pretty simple, so you should be able to do it pretty easily. Patrick, you want to look at them?
They're ready.
All right. So read the, come on back.
Come on back,
Come on
everyone,
back.
so we can
Read
get
the-
out at
read the
8:30.
Read the scenario first, and then tell us your affirmation. All right, so everybody can hear it. Everybody ready?
No.
It doesn't look like everybody's ready. No, we want you to say the scenario, and then
All
because
right.
not everybody's read the scenario. You can.
Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, how did you come up with that? By looking at.
Yeah. How did you come up with it?
Joan has
Everybody ready?
Joan has been called into
Charles. Charles is up.
Joan Joan has been called into an unexpected meeting with her supervisor. She knows the company is planning layoffs and she is very nervous as she walks to the meeting. When she arrives in the reception area, she sits down and says an affirmation.
I am confident the supervisor has continued my employment because I'm a valuable asset to this company.
No.
She didn't like it. She doesn't
No, we sound about like.
No, it sounded like that.
Go
Well, first of all, you can't affirm for another person.
Who's the-
So, but you can affirm. So if you could affirm as you're going into here, and what's she afraid of? Say it again.
I am confident the supervisor has continued my employment.
You are
We're
confident.
controlling.
I am confident.
Yeah, but we can't control the supervisor's action.
She has not, what happens if she has not done what you wanted her to do? So you need to, so we're talking about the nerves there. So what are you capable of doing in that
Well,
affirming?
also, what's she nervous about? She's nervous she's going to lose her job. Probably it's financial, more than likely, right? So it could be something like, I am confident that I'm always taken care of,
Right.
that I always have perfect employment, or something like that, or that my life is always unfolding perfectly because I'm always taken care of.
And I've said this before, and no matter what happens, I got this. No matter what happens, if she comes out and then says yes, which is what you want, but what happens if she doesn't? So you have to stay with the I.
Because think what you're doing, you're outlining. Because that's not going to be the best thing for
Yeah,
her.
for you.
My son lost his job a few months ago, and it was
Yeah.
the best thing that ever happened in his life.
And it was a
he
big,
got
big
laid
job
off,
and
it was a
big
big job.
money and-
So
yeah.
we don't know that part of it, but we have to know that we're safe.
Does that make sense?
I'm safe. I'm always taken care of. The universe always provides for me, no matter what. I've got this. All of that. Okay, you can't.
Yeah. We just want to
I
keep
think it
our
makes clear.
affirmations to ourselves.
Read the scenario first.
Okay, so Beatrice, Feren, and Ron, Feren, has located the new car they want to buy. She's excited about the car, but very uncomfortable with the negotiating part of the purchase. She's not good at discerning truth from lies, and she's been deceived many times in her life. Before going into the dealership, she sits in her car and says an affirmation.
Okay, so the fears is that she's going to be taken advantage of, she's not smart or savvy, a bad negotiator, unworthy, and can't trust herself. So the affirmation is, I am willing to share my needs with trust and faith and happily receive the best deal at the price I can pay.
That's good. That's good.
What's the first part again? Say that for me.
I am willing to share my needs with trust and faith. Share the needs for what kind of car she wants and for the price. And I happily receive the best deal at the price I can pay.
Yeah. One of the things I realized about her is she has to let go of the past. No, I'm just saying that if I'm looking at her, I'm going, oh, she's basing her current reality on that she's been screwed before. So we have to let go of that part of it. Yeah, she's willing to let go of the past to live what we've been talking about tonight in the future. Yeah.
Okay, so she located the new car she wants to buy. You know what? I had to go back and I had to say, I want a new, reliable car, not I want that car, or I want that
What
car.
this isn't. That's not what this is about. We're just following this scenario. Go ahead. I'm sorry we have to move fast because we're almost done.
No, I mean, there's not more than one.
No, you guys are doing great.
Okay, Hazel has decided to
Hazel.
increase her savings. She's very committed to improving her financial situation. She believes in her potential and knows that she can be far more prosperous than she is. As part of her financial improvement plan, she says an affirmation daily of her increased abundance.
I have all the money I want to do. I have all the money I want to do what I want and whenever that I want to.
That's good. She says
Oh, and her
yeah.
her
She's
fear
trying
was
to, that she doesn't have enough money. Yes,
Yeah.
I have all the
Yeah.
money I
And
require.
her fear was that she was like you're saying she's in the past, or she's she's looking at the outside, her low savings account, her money account. That's her fear, as if that's how it's always going to be. Well,
Right.
no,
Right. No, that's good. Say it again.
I have all the money I want to do what I want whenever I want.
I like it.
And yeah, exactly. And her source is always, her source of supply is spirit.
No, that was actually good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand. Well, I'm just throwing on something.
Give them the mic. These are good.
Give it to Sue. You got to do part of it. I got to do part of it.
Oh, this one was interesting.
Okay, I'll read,
Interested
I'll
to
read
see
the,
what they come up with.
this is Jessica loaned her, no, Kathleen. Kathleen is going to meet with her church committee tonight. She dreads these meetings because it always seems like they don't get enough done, because there is so much conversation that has nothing to do with their work. Before walking into the meeting room, Kathleen says an
This
affirmation.
one's going to be interesting. Go ahead. Yeah, Sue's probably good at this one.
All right, let's
She's been on a lot of
Been in a
church
lot of
committees.
church meetings. Well, I thought that her fear was that she was not in control and not one with the group. Or we thought, sorry, probably. So the affirmation is, I am one with each member of the group, and I know that this meeting is clear, fulfilling, and effective.
Wow, that was really good. Yeah. I thought you were going to go to trying to control the other people, but you did good. Okay, we'll just read the last one together.
And Kathleen needs to get rid of that attitude that she was about to
You
bring
know what?
into
We
that meeting.
don't
Just
really
saying.
have time to read the last one together, because
Yes,
then
we
we'd have
do.
to create an affirmation.
Jessica loaned her best friend Francis money 3 weeks ago. Oh. Francis promised to return the loan within a few days, but did not. The delay is bothering Jessica and affecting her friendship with Francis. Jessica has decided to talk to Francis about the loan repayment. She's worried about what to say and how the conversation will go. Before knocking on Francis's door, she says an affirmation. Sue, what would you think of that affirmation? Because
What's her
because
fear?
you've been to a rodeo or two on that one. Remember, we talked about that. Remember? Oh, is it still? Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Why don't I just out you in your whole life? No, this is something she was quite open with.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So what would you say?
I would have to say, there's probably conflict within her about forgiveness and, not asking for it back and knowing what's the right direction to take. So my affirmation would have to be that I speak honestly, that my voice is clear and concise, and this is resolved effectively.
That's exactly what I would say. I speak my word with compassion, and this situation is resolved now.
Right, and if you were treating for it, you would treat the exact same thing. And why I pulled you out of that is because I remember that it was very hard because of confrontation, and that you're friends with somebody. This isn't a loan officer. This is somebody who loaned some money to a friend. They didn't return it. I've been there before.
Oh, this is good, guys. Good.
Charles.
I know and believe. I know and know. I just know and believe that affirmations are powerful. They're a way to keep you on mark if you're trying to make a change in your life, but you have to really believe them. You have to work on them. You have to contemplate them. You have to meditate on them and use them effectively. Otherwise, they're just words.
And back them always with love. That's
Right.
what I was thinking.
And if they
Walk in with
become
love.
stale to you, then find a new one. Like, sometimes if they become lip service, then you need a new one. So
Right, you have to feel it too, and feel the
Okay.
truth of it when you're doing
just
it.
write this down quickly. You don't need the names. You just need chapter 10, chapter 4. Oh, chapter 10 and Can We Talk to God? Chapter 4 and 6 and 12. There's a lot this week.
You have
okay?
a lot of reading.
Well,
this week.
no, because look at they're short chapters, 31 to 36. That one's 10 pages, big deal. That one's like 8 pages. That one's 8 pages. That one's what? 8
Well,
pages.
total there's about 50 pages.
Oh, let's
there
count them
is.
up. Let's count them up now. 10, 15, 15,
10,
15,
5, 15,
8. 15 and 8 is 20 something.
and 99 to
7,
107.
8 pages. Yeah, it's less than.
And write an affirmation for yourself that you can carry with you and use repeatedly to change a belief that limits you.
It's not a lot, guys.
There we go. I have all the
time
I
need to do my homework. All right, chapter
Okay.
10 from Can We Talk to God?
Every week.
Chapter 4, 6, 12. We're not going to make you do salient points. We'll take care of it next week. We'll have 100 quotes next week.
You like doing them?
Do you want to do them?
Yeah, why don't you guys all pick a salient point? It's good. No,
No, just one.
Just one. Yeah, I think it's a great thing because it really makes you kind of look in and see what, and then be able to actually explain what you're reading. So I like that too. So go for it. Thank you. You can thank Melissa for the extra homework
you know what,
for this week.
It goes like this, and Dr. Joe.
I'm kidding.
Dr. Joe says this, and also we used to do this when we were learning the science. If you can't say it in your own words and you don't know what it means, then you can't embody it, right? He does that exercise when he teaches that he goes, okay, everybody explain it to the person next to you. Because if you're learning a really hard
We've done
concept
that
or
here
something,
in class.
so I think it's important.
Absolutely.
All right, Patrick's treating us out.
So y'all feeling good?
About getting up in front of the congregation.
Oh, no, let's not ask them. Let's tell them. No, I'm just kidding. What we want to start a new thing on Sundays, and don't freak tonight, but we are going to choose somebody tonight. But you know how we get, how we get up and we talk about "You Are Magnificent," and then Rita says,
No, you know how I always say what the science of mind is?
She's still going to do that, but she wants another.
I want another person to come up, and in less than a minute or 1 minute, no more than that, they can write it down if they want. Tell what the science of mind means to them. If you had to tell somebody,
because it's important for on Sundays for the people to they keep saying, I want to hear from other people, and they want to know that you guys, so I think it'll be very beneficial, and it'll be good for you as students
and
to
if
be
you
able
want to write it down, it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. So she's going to get up. How it works, she's going to get up and talk about, you're in a Science of Mind Center, and this is what we do. And then we say we're going to invite Chia up, and Chia's going to come up, and she's just going to tell us what Science of Mind means in her life. And people really, that'll be good for people to, am I trying to convince you? I'm looking at all of you.
Jamie's
and you're going like this. Yeah, this is what all of you are doing. You're going, if you just give the poker face, he will not come. Oh, delete. You already did that.
No, you can write it down. We don't want it to go on because if we put you up there and you go on for 3 minutes, we'll be very upset.
Charles.
We basically want. We want 1 minute.
1 minute.
We
It's
used
a
to
very,
do
just
we
one
used-
one thing. Just one thing.
If you've been with us from the beginning,
Science of Mind, perfect example. What I get out of Science of Mind is ba 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 ba, and that's it. Boom.
you can give an example, but I do.
No, she said give an example.
Well, look, you know what I say. Every
Science
week.
of Mind for me is based all in cause and effect, and I'm able to use that in my life on a daily basis. And then if you have an example, I was out the other day and blah 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 blah, and I was able to see, oh my gosh, this really works.
Boom.
Exactly. We just want, because I think it's important for people that are come on a Sunday to just get to know that, oh my
How
God.
do you use it in your life?
Yeah.
That's all. Charles, you should be able to say something, but you say everything on Sunday. Right. Right. Okay. No, you're not a good choice.
Yes. Thank you, Melissa.
Melissa, thank you. Okay.
Melissa, since Melissa gave you all a salient point from the chapters, since she volunteered you, we're going to volunteer Melissa to be
I'll help
first.
you tomorrow. I'm going to see you tomorrow morning.
Personal.
It can be personal, but
Yeah.
just it can't go more than a minute, though.
Yeah,
90
you can't
seconds
say.
max. Aren't we going to meeting each other tomorrow? I have it on my calendar.
So anyway,
Oh, all right. Well, then we're not. Okay. That means I can go running tomorrow instead.
there you go.
Oh,
So there you
it's
go.
next week. How did I get it tomorrow?
Everybody thinks that the labyrinth is tomorrow night. Everybody.
It's
It's
ahead.
the 27th. The 27th. I mean, it's a weird month.
All right, Patrick, treat us out.
Oh my God. So let me end this confusion, Charles, and we'll start with some clarity. So let's just take a moment to not even care about time, because there is no time in the mind of good. It is eternal, it is always ongoing. So what I know about this moment is I'm in pure gratitude. Gratitude for this wonderful, wonderful, exciting evening that has transpired and has led us to this beautiful moment called now. And I know that whatever we needed and required from all of this information and all this time together has already been required, infused. We have rewired and fired up this incredible, incredible energy, the field, the quantum field. Oh, and this power we get to use in every moment. So I just know that tonight has already been deemed successful. It has already been deemed perfect. It has already been deemed filled with love. And there has been so much that is gained and infused inside of each and every one of us that each and every one of us gets to use in every moment that transpires from this moment to the next moment to the next moment. So I am so grateful for each and every one of us. Bless you. I am so grateful for the opportunity to share this field with each and every one of us here tonight. And we take it out into the streets and we let it be backed by love. As together we say with gratitude. And so it is. Yeah.